versus being inside of you. So I'm not telling you to believe this, I'm just saying what I've heard, and through my experience in life, it's occurred for no odd reason. The people who worship the devil have an ability to know thoughts of things that they shouldn't about people. This is like gossip, and it would make sense if the underworld, whoever you think is keeper of Earth after it goes to Hell, would have the ability to know gossip, because when people are doing bad stuff, they're easy to read because they're using reptilian brain instead of thinking outside of the box. Secondly, what they can do is astral project, but that's too out there. The second thing they can do is, I forget, but the change between a mechanical and a digital electronic wave versus whatever material make it up with. So there's natural roots and there's natural logs, and this is in math. It's not wood and plant material underground. And so in the common denominator of the most, what the Catholics say is that the devil owns the fence, and if you're a lukewarm Christian, neither hot or cold, that's what God hates the most, because every time, like, the destiny of the earth is to go to HE double hockey sticks, so then, like, he has the tricks of the trade. If you're going second stepping and half, not full tilt or full throttle, but like just weighing on the clutch until the cable breaks, like the natural log and the natural root of the diagonal of the two is most commonly at where, like, the visual and mechanical, they opt each other out. And so then the least common denominator would be like a dummy variable if you don't know the solution, and the dummy variable would be the reptilian mind, which gets to be manhandled with this natural log and natural root of what Satan has used to read thoughts that aren't theirs and, like, do odd stuff like sniff out things and then be able to see the trail that they took, like Aragorn and the Ranger of Lord of the Rings. So I just turned too quick on a bike and I've lost traction of the gravel because it was raining really hard and I was going really fast. It's just like on a skateboard that one time where I broke my collarbone because the wheels went out from the road. But this time I was carrying coffee and broke 2 cups, and the cup behind the first 2 was something that survived because it flew out of my arm. And, like, how many LGBT walnut have, like, the best, like, bacteria and, like, shit on the block? How gross does that sound? People cooking stores. I saw it on the internet. So sound boxes are really unique because it's a toss up between the sound it makes outside of the box and then the little bell chimes it makes as the mechanical object spins. If you could control both and not know which one, that's why those pianos that play with ghost presets, so no one has to hit it and it does it itself, but you have to crank it, is why it's so interesting. Because at what point is it getting dull, or at what point is it making the sound correct what it should in order to be encased with its message. If the only people allowed to be open in big businesses to influence the market during a lockdown were carbon neutral, this person, if they were touching a club that had needle art, doesn't that look like it would be in a scary movie? Look at that. Is that okay because I was an adult and I just showed you another one? But if that was a kid, it would be like kind of like bad because you're not supposed to do that in public unless it's for a movie. And if you didn't hire a kid and you just did that to a random kid. First off, why would a kid have a business card? I've never seen that in my life. So if I ever saw that not inside of a movie, I would wonder why. If the person didn't look like that kid, why would they have a business card with one? If you're wearing an earbud or an earring and you have something enveloping your head, like a towel, or if you're being grabbed by a cloud of air for no odd reason, people on the internet fly around the room like they're being drugged by nothing. So if that ever happened, it would have been like odd landmarks in the areas, such as in my dream one time on the ground there were snakes everywhere. But what if they were just pitting up from microscopic holes in the ground and growing to the size of they are, like in South Park when they have the giant worm from the tablet. It's a gunpowder. And there's a whole bunch of holes down there. I don't want to show you, but it's really odd that what if this long hole had to do with a snake that had gone of an epic size and left as quickly as that, and all it needed was 2 holes over there to succumb to an area of 100% kill zone from this hole to those 2 holes, because that's where it was sniping everyone from this large pond. It's just like in Star Wars when there's the laser room where they can't go past the laser walls. It's about from there to some holes down there. And if they got caught on the wall, it would have been equal to Indiana Jones's when they both got smushed from the walls going in. And then they did that inside of a few other movies, like one made for this band. It was like a death band, death metal. And they copied the Indiana Jones scenario. Also Star Wars did it, and Luke Skywalker's like, why aren't we dirty and trash if we're down in here? And Han Solo, who just got done with Indiana Jones, says, isn't that kind of a movie, kid? And so when Han Solo said that to Luke Skywalker, it's not that kind of a movie, he knew that the next scene he was going to get put into a metal bed and cast. And he knew that he didn't have to sit in there for the cast. So how he was looking at his statue is equal to, like, in the movie role, if it were equal to Sub-Zero doing a fatality with ice because he was in metal. And this is how hard I hit the ground. It hit the earbud. And that's equal to Leatherface doing a fatality. Because instead of just solidifying one of their faces, he does it like so well that it's a fatality when he takes it off.
But yeah, like I was gonna say, so like one of the last things, it was a breakfast and a lunch. Say you have like a small.
So what a hotkey is if they change something that you can't go back, because it would be like one thing that was connected to the tube, and so if one thing shuts off, it affects the other. And so there was only like a third route if you remembered your wallet, but that got lost. So other than that is a PayPal key, and that got shut off 2 days ago because they stopped doing that access. And you also don't have a card that was connected to it, so you'll have to go to a separate bank because they can't send a card that would have the number on it electronically, so that you could enter it into an app that's connected to a PayPal. That just got shut off because the key was eliminated. So the quality that Han Solo saw his cast when it was actually made him as acting versus what the role in the movie meant was a dysfunction from an authenticity, because probably he didn't think they did a good job if he was joking about it in the next scene that they were making was trash on their body. And so when he said to Luke Skywalker, this is no kind of movie, he was talking to like the actor as opposed to like what he saw the actual scripting could have meant if it was more authentic, because maybe they made a bad cast mold of his the day before in the scene of him getting frozen, or I mean cast mold of getting solidified, and there was like a different necklace and kind of matched this kind of thing.